Okay, first things first, like Mr. Golding said, I'm Mr. Dunleavy. You can go ahead and put away your Chromebooks just for 15, 20 minutes. You don't need them. You can get them right back out when I'm done. I just want your attention for 15, 20 minutes. I promise I'll make it worth it. Or not, you might forget everything I tell you, which is also fine. I'm trying to really cut out filler words like or like when I'm talking. So if you catch me saying or I want you to throw this ball at me as hard as you can, just like that. I'm trying to stop doing that. So if you could, keep me in check, I would greatly appreciate it. Does anyone want to start out with it? Okay. As soon as you hear me, like anything of that sort, go ahead and throw the ball at me. All right. So starting out, today we're in sub-Saharan Africa, which Africa is a large continent. Okay, someone with better aim, do it next.
Wow.
Saw you in the corner. Go ahead and get that to her in the corner. Yeah. Okay, so Africa is a really large continent, and sub-Saharan Africa is just a more specific section of Africa. So the Saharan Desert is that northern part where a lot of the Islamic countries would have been. Okay.
No Jasper.
If you want to give it to me. All right. Okay, back on track. Sub-Saharan Africa is the part of Africa that is, like as the name suggests, below the Saharan. So that technically, someone will hit it. Whoever wants it.
Yeah, I like Gavin.
Why would you like that?
All right.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Sub-Saharan Africa is technically everything below the Sahara, but specifically we'll be focusing in this western region over here, which is in this time period represented by these three empires. First, the Ghana Empire, which is a lot of what you guys are going to be going over. And second is the Mali Empire, which kind of takes over for the Ghana Empire. And finally, the Songhai Empire, which takes over towards the end of the Mali Empire's reign. Okay, next slide.
What was that, bro?
Wow. Just the cat.
Any takers?
Don't miss it, Robbie.
All right, we're starting in Ghana, which happens to be the place you guys are studying right now, which is founded in 830. It's kind of an unknown founding date. There's not really precise manuscripts from the time.
Dang it!
What the heck?
Hey, have him throw a ball.
There's not really precise manuscripts from the time that define when it was founded, but we do know that these intersecting trading routes all across the Saharan and down into this area of West Africa were united by the first early African kings. By the first kings of the African Empire, united these intersecting trade routes here in West Africa to form the Ghanaian Empire. It was the first major West African dynasty, and it was ruled by kings. It was a direct monarchy for about 400 years. Sorry. So sorry. It was a direct monarchy for about 400 years. It was ruled by a king, just like an European dynasty would be. It was conquered eventually in 1235 by the much more famous Mali Empire. Basically, they could not keep up with ever-advancing technology. And the Mali Empire eventually got better at managing these trade routes here in West Africa. So they surpassed them in wealth and technology and eventually dethroned Ghana as the main empire in the region in 1235. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. In like I said, 1235, Mali will go on to conquer Ghana and take over much of the same territory, as you can see. But before it conquered the Ghana Empire, Mali was just a small merchant city-state founded in 1226. Has anyone ever heard of Timbuktu? The capital. There's a phrase, from here to Timbuktu. It just means a place that's really far. But for these people, Timbuktu was not very far. This was home. This was the capital city of the Mali Empire, and it's where it started out in 1226. Eventually, as it grew in resources, and Ghana began to decline, kind of at about the same time. They would surpass Mali would surpass Ghana in might, right at the time. Does anyone want it?
Jasper wants it.
Who? I was intended for. Sorry. Okay. Right at about the time that the Ghana Empire was declining in resources, the Mali Empire was taking over and dominating trade in the region. They used the same strategic trade routes as were in place. I feel like you guys should have it because you're the only ones in range. They got obscenely rich. It's by many accounts the largest and richest empire in African and maybe even world history is the Mali Empire. Does anyone know who this man is right here? Has anyone heard of Mansa Musa? Mansa Musa is considered the richest man in history by many scholars. He, at one point in time, possessed so much gold that when he went on a trip to Mecca and was so obscenely rich that he began giving out gold to every passerby he saw on the street, giving out gold basically for free to the to the local citizens. And he gave out so much free gold. He was so obscenely rich that he was just handing out gold, and he actually crashed many local economies on his way to Mecca. He was so incredibly rich that just his handouts caused economic collapses because he inflated the price. He inflated prices so much that he caused economic collapses all the way from when he went from here in Timbuktu, the capital, all the way to the Middle East, which is even on this map, to Mecca, which is where every Muslim man has to go at some point. I've gotten away with so many. Where every Muslim man has to go there at some point in their life. And when Mansa Musa went, like I said, he was so obscenely rich, he crashed tons of local economies. This is what the Mali Empire is most known for, is Mansa Musa having the richest man in history, possessing so much gold that he is capable of crashing economies just by... Watch out, no hitting the TV or the gimmick is over. No hitting the TV.
What? I thought Mansa Musa said that.
Okay, after Mansa Musa dies, the empire does not end. It's fine. After Mansa Musa dies, the empire does not end. It persisted for years after his death. And technically, it persisted all the way to 1670. But truthfully, the Songhai Empire would conquer most of it in 1468, including the capital of Timbuktu, which is where most of Mali's power was coming from. So by 1468, Mali is no longer a major player, but technically this empire will hold on in some form until 1670. Yes.
Did anyone inherit his wealth?
Well, yes. The next king of Mali would inherit Mansa Musa's wealth, but just as things go, the Mali Empire's wealth gradually began to decline over time as on the last slide you saw all the intersecting trade routes. Sorry. On the last slide you saw all the intersecting trade routes that went through the region, and they used that to get very rich. But as time progressed, they gradually lost their money and resources, and no one would ever again reach the heights of Mansa Musa. And another contributing factor is that they became less centralized over time. So originally, Mansa Musa, as the king of everything, just took all the country's money for himself. Not all of it, but a lot of it for himself. And that's what led to him amassing so much obscene power and wealth. But kind of as the years went on, the ruler would not take nearly as much of the pie of the Mali economy. And so no one would ever reach his true wealth ever again. But yes, his descendants would inherit most of his money. Next slide.
basketball tie.
They pointed you out. You want it. Okay, like I said, in 1468, the Songhai Empire would conquer them. Same exact origins as Mali, where Mali began as a small city-state near Ghana. Songhai began as a small city-state near Mali. It was founded by Soni Ali. This is where history has progressed to the point that we now actually have manuscripts and documents that tell us who the founder of this nation was, as opposed to Ghana, which is about 600 years before. We actually have no clue who would have precisely founded it. It just kind of formulated over time. There's not precise manuscripts, but that'll change in 1450. By this point, we do know exactly. They don't want it. He's the only one who's asking for it. They conquered most of the Mali Empire in 1468, like I said on the last slide. They took over a lot of the wealth, status, and land that Mali was well known for, became under the Songhai Empire. By this point, mathematics and science had become a major focus. And this is the major legacy of the Songhai people, is going to be the Timbuktu scrolls, which are pictured right here. It's a collection of Arabic manuscripts that we still have from the time. Like I said, our historical documentation during this period is a lot better for the Songhai Empire than the last two. While we really only know of Mansa Musa and a few key figures from the Ghana and Mali Empire, by Songhai Empire we have scrolls that basically cover religion, mathematics, science, all sorts of things they would have used to kind of define their society at the time. And these are still preserved today. This is a real picture taken only a few years ago. So yeah, that's what I've got for you guys. These are the three major sub-Saharan West African empires from about 830 to 1591, when the Songhai Empire is going to eventually collapse as European contact becomes more common and the social dynamics of Africa are going to start changing, heading into the 17th century, but that's well in advance of here.
Dang it. Oh my God.
And that's going to be the last chance you have to fire that at me, because I am done. Thank you guys for your attention. It's much appreciated.